What's up, Dragon Nation? I'm Rich with Dragon Nation Gaming. Welcome back to Kerbal's space program. Last episode we tried to launch this science package into orbit, but had a little bit of an issue because we lost communications. This episode we're going to try to make a satellite relay, so that way we have communications all around Kerbal. Let's go ahead, get this started. Alright, so let's go ahead and get rid of this one. Let's see. What am I going to need? I'm trying to design satellites. What I want to do is I want to do 3 satellites in one launch. But I have no idea how I'm going to build the satellites. This is going to take me a minute. So, how big are we going to want this thing? I have no idea. Let's go small as hell. We do have to fit 3 of these on one ship, so try to go as small as we can. I'm just not really sure what all we're going to put on this. Let's try communication. We'll try relay antenna, which is the smallest antenna we got. I think that might fit, maybe. Alright, let's try some reaction wheels. Alright, good so far. Let's try some power. A little bit of battery power. Next we're gonna need monopropellant. Just for those fine-tuning maneuvers. Because sometimes thrusters just have way too much power to get you that little bit. And then we're gonna need liquid fuel and oxidizer. I have no idea how much I'm going to need, so we'll just go with 2 for right now. And then of course we're going to need ourselves an engine. Are you the right size? Yes you are. I don't like that. Let's go with a different skin. I think that'll work. Alright, now we just got to place everything else. So we're going to need... what else are we going to need? Let's go ahead and get some more antennas just for the hell of it. Yeah, let's go with the high gain. Let's do 2 symmetry. We'll put them right here. Yeah, I think that'll work. Let's go ahead. No, let's not extend it yet because I need to figure out where to put everything else. Alright, so we are going to need solar panels, of course, because these are going to be in space for a very, very long time. Alright, so electrical. Let's do the 1x6. Smallest solar panels we have at the moment. And let's just put you all the way up here. Come on, snap, snap, there you go. And then of course we need RCS. We need to go with a different RCS than we've been using. We'll go ahead and use modded RCS thrusters on this build. How big are you? Oh, you're huge. Let's try this one. Much better. Alright, with this one right here, the reason I want to use it is it does have thrusters that go in every single direction. So we are only going to need 2. We'll only need 1 on each side. If we look at the vanilla ones, you'll notice there's no thruster right here in the middle, but here it does. So with the regular vanilla RCS thrusters, you need 4 of those, but with these ones from, I think these are B9 Aerospace. Yeah, I think I got those from B9 Aerospace. You can actually just use 2, and it has them in every direction. And that's how simple it is to make a communication relay. I think that's all we need. Alright, let's go ahead and get a decoupler, and then we'll save this on as a sub-assembly. Now, of course, we need to change the route. So let's put it right here. Then we'll go to sub-assembly and we'll call this... What should we call this? ComSat. Of course, ComSat. What else would we call it? Alright, ComSat. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to figure out how we're going to get these three connected to a ship. So we're going to need a fairing around it, of course. We should be able to go into structures. There should be a few tools that we can use in order to do what it is we're trying to do. Let's try this one. I think this is, the tri-coupler. Okay, it's upside down. Let's do it like that. Yeah, I think this should work. Alright, now we need to... we need to make sure this will actually fit inside of a fairing. So, I think it was 2.5. We need... payload? I think it's this one right here. No, this is 1.8. No, that should be the right size. Maybe. I have no idea. Well, it's the biggest one that we have, so I don't really have a choice. Yeah, I'll just have to come way out with it. No, let's try something. I got an idea. Let's go to our sub-assembly. If my brain will start working and I can find it. There we go. We got our ComSat. We'll put in all three of those spots. Yeah, so they are pretty wide apart, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and go to TweakScale. This is a must-have mod. It really is. Alright, so now they're a little too close together, so what we could do is go ahead and grab the move tool. We'll go to that decoupler, if I could select it. No, that's not the decoupler. I need the decoupler. There you go. And let's actually go to this one. Maybe it'll give me better rows. Come on. Nope, it won't let me select. There you go. Alright, now all we need to do is we need to bring it... Do shift to the right. Yeah, it did a little bit. All we need to do is bring that straight out. Oh, let's turn off snap. Actually, that might be perfect. All we want to do is the antennas right here on the top. The dishes are going to be the ones that stick out the most. So we just want to make sure that those are not colliding. And I think right there is perfect. I think. I have no idea. Let's go ahead and do auto strut. Go back to build, and I think that's good. Let's go ahead and get the fairing. Now with the fairing, we're gonna have to come out just a little bit. Build fairing. There we go. So we'll come out to that far enough. I can't really tell. Right there. And straight up. And then we can go back in. Alright, doesn't look like anything is colliding, so I think we're good. Nothing's poking out. Alright, so there's our delivery system. Now what we need to do is we need to figure out how to get the sub-assembly in. Now, what we're trying to do is I'm trying to get to a geostationary orbit, or in the game, people like to call it geostationary orbit. Basically, what you do is you get to enough of an altitude so you can move slow enough that the orbit of the satellite matches the rotation of Kerbal, which means the satellite will stay in one spot above Kerbal. We'll have to try this. We don't have any communications on the other side of the planet, so this is going to be a little bit difficult. Alright, so I think what we need to do now is... I don't know. Oh, I know what we need to do. The issue is we're not going to be able to control once we start separating stuff and we want to deorbit this stage that we're about to build. We need to be able to control it. But the issue is we don't have anything really big enough for that. Well, I could do a manned mission so we don't have to worry about control. But nah, we'll just do unmanned mission. Alright, so here's the issue now. We got ourselves sub-assembly. Lifting body large. Now, in order to get to the altitude we need an altitude of 2,863 kilometers. And I'll show you why that's important later on. But it's going to take more fuel than it takes to get back and forth from the moon, which is a lot of freaking fuel. So the lifting body large might work. I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think it is. We're going to need one more stage. It's going to have to be as big as these right here, which I think was 2.5. So what we're going to have to do is let's find fuel. We're going to need an adapter to go from this side to the next size up. Nope, wrong one. You? I think that will work. Yeah, so this is going to be another stage. So what we need is we are going to need fuel. Actually, we're going to need monopropellant as well. Let me see, is this one? That's going to be a lot of monopropellant. You know what? Screw it. We'll take it. And now what we're going to need is we need a fuel tank for the bottom. So that way we can connect an engine. Now we need a very efficient engine, so we're going to go with the same one that we went on the ship from last episode. So we can try to test to see how efficient that engine is. Now the only issue we have is we won't be able to control this vessel once we get rid of the satellites and we can't deorbit it. So what do we do? Alright, let's go ahead and get the RCS while we're trying to figure this out. And I don't think 4 RCS is really going to be enough, but we'll give it a try. We'll see. It might be. But we also have the RCS that's on the satellites. I think this might work. Let's go ahead and get a decouplers. Oh no, we already have one on the sub-assembly. Alright, so how am I going to control this thing once I decouple everything? Well, I guess we could cheat it just a little bit and use this one. And we'll just go ahead and use TweakScale. I forgot the name of it. There it is. We also probably do need a battery as well. And hopefully at some point we can go ahead and open up some more. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have batteries big enough, so let's go with... Yeah, let's go with this one. Put batteries right there. So yeah, definitely not all vanilla, but it should hopefully work. Do we need reaction wheels? No, we got RCS. Reaction wheels won't really work as high as we're going. Now all we need to do is just connect the sub-assembly. And I think that's it. Alright, of course the staging, everything else, I'll go ahead and get that ready, then we'll go ahead and launch. Now, the launch I'm going to have to do differently than the launches we've done before. But let's go ahead and see how this works. Alright, so as we saw in last episode, I wasn't able to control the vessel once we got to a certain point in the orbit, or in our trajectory, because... yeah, we didn't have line of sight with the Kerbal Space Center. And we are going to have the same issue with this one. We won't be able to control it unless we just go straight up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, well, not exactly straight up, but as close to straight up as possible. We're going to get up to altitude, try to make an orbit, and then just launch one of the satellites right there. Try to get it a perfect orbit as close as possible. It's not going to be perfect, but we'll try to get close. But let's go ahead and launch this thing. So, SAS, full throttle, 3, 2, 1. Alright, so we'll wait until we get up to surface speed of 100 meters per second, and we'll just tilt just a little, like 5 degrees, that's it. There we go. Let's just tilt just a little bit. That way we can make sure that everything we stage actually lands in the water. It's nice and safe. So basically we're doing the same thing. We're waiting until the SRBs get close to being empty, then we'll launch or fire the main thruster right there. Man, those SRBs are loud. I realized that last episode when I was editing how loud they were. It's kind of awesome though. I like how loud they are. Alright, so let's go ahead and fire the main engine now. And then separation in 3, 2, 1. That's what we're talking about. Alright, so this is going to take a really long time. We're probably going to use all the fuel in this stage, and we'll have to use the next stage to finish the orbit. So this is going to take a little bit of time. Alright, so we're starting to get really, really high. We're 800 kilometers. Our apoapse is at 800 kilometers above Kerbal, or above sea level. And now we are about to stage. Here comes the next stage, and we'll see just how efficient these engines are. Well, we're getting the speed pretty well. The gauge on the fuel tanks are going down pretty slow. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to an apoapse of 2,863. I'm not going to be able to get it perfect, but we'll get it as perfect as we can. Or as close to perfect as we can. But yeah, we still have a little ways to go. Alright, there we go. So I did go a little bit over, unfortunately. 2,897. That's okay. We can fix it from there. So right now I have a couple options. First thing you want to do, as soon as you get into space, at 70 kilometers, open up some solar panels and some antennas so that way you can communicate and you have solar power to recharge those batteries. So what we could do is I could decouple all 3 of these satellites right now, and I could use those engines to try to finish the orbit, but I have a feeling they're not going to work. There's not enough Delta V. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and use the engines on the stage that we have. So let's come up to apoapse, add maneuver, and we're going to try to get the periapse up to 2,863. And then I'll show you why this is important. Wow, that's going to take a lot of thrust. Holy... Yeah, the satellites aren't going to have enough Delta V. I can guarantee it. 61? I think that's close enough. So we are going to have a 1 minute 9 second burn. So we're going to do the same thing as always. We're going to divide that by 2, which is 35. So at T-minus 35 seconds, we'll go ahead and do a burn to try to finish off this orbit. It's going to take me a little while to get there because I'm going to take this very slowly. But let's go ahead and time warp a little bit, and then we'll do that burn. Alright, so we're coming up to the burn. I'm trying to... Oh, there it is. There's Kerbal. Yeah, look how far away we are. So right now, let's do the burn. So the burn is 1 minute, and I think it was 10 seconds. Which we have plenty of Delta V. So like I was saying earlier, it's going to take more Delta V to do this maneuver to try to get this orbit than it's going to take to get to the moon. So if we can actually finish this this orbit, get this orbit finished with the stages that we have, then we should be able to get to the moon. And it looks like we're still going to have a lot of Delta V, or fuel. So let's go ahead and try... Ooh, here we go. We got an orbit. Let's go ahead and go to map view and see how our orbit is doing. Oh, we need to zoom way out. Yep, we still have a little ways to go. 19. Try to stay on the maneuver node. 13. 12. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. How are we? We still have 11.6 meters per second. Let's do this softly. And 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, it's starting to go the other way now. Alright, let's get rid of that. And there we go. We got our orbit, but that's the easy part. Now what we need to do is we need to make sure that this satellite, our first satellite, stays above the Kerbal Space Center, or we will lose communication. Now, as you can see, we are a little bit left of the orbit. Like, we did launch right here, and we should have been up here somewhere. But now we're over here. That's because while we were trying to get the maneuver done, the planet was spinning. So, yeah, this might be... As long as we can see the Kerbal Space Center, we're fine. Alright, now what we need to do... It's time to decouple. Now, I do have to do a few maneuvers to get these into a triangle shape. What we want to do is to make sure all three of these satellites have line of sight. So one satellite will be here at the top, one will be down here, the other will be down here. So we're going to kind of do the same thing we do for rendezvous. We're just going to lower the orbit a little bit, let it go around for a little while, and then when it comes to the right spot, we'll try to finish off the, we'll try to extend the orbit to make it 2,863. Now, the height does not matter. Well, it kind of matters, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing, if you look down here, this right here is the most important thing. This is your orbital period. The orbital period is how long it takes for a vessel to orbit Kerbal. As you can see right now, we're at 1 day, 1 minute. So since we want to stay right above the Kerbal Space Center with the first satellite, we need to bring that down to 1 day. So that way it's orbiting the same speed that Kerbal is spinning. Now, the issue that we're going to have, the reason we have to go ahead and decouple now, is if I get rid of one satellite and leave it right here, that's going to throw the weight off on the vessel, and this thing will be extremely difficult to control. So yeah, we're going to have to do this. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so they did have a little bit of collision because they're spreading off just a little bit. I have no idea where the collision was happening, but that's actually good. Alright, let's go ahead and pick a satellite. Let's go ahead and get this guy set up. Now what we need to do is we need to change the orbital period. I don't like this one too much, so let's go ahead and use the one for MechJab. What we'll do is go to orbital info, and what we're looking for is right here, orbital period. 1 day, 1 minute, 59 seconds. Now the reason for that is because our apoapse is too high. So we need to bring the apoapse down just a little bit. Periapse is at 2,860. We could probably bring the periapse up, and the apoapse is 2,900. So yeah, we could definitely bring that one down. Alright, let's go ahead and extend all the antennas. So basically what I want to do with this one is I just want to go around to make sure that this is in the right orbit. So this one's going to be extremely simple. The next one is going to be a little bit more difficult. Oh, you know what? I could have done that later on. That's okay. We can figure that out. Alright, so let me go ahead and do this one on my own because it's going to take a little bit of time, and it's just a waste of time because all we're doing is maneuvers to try to get the orbit right. But when I get that done, we'll go ahead and come back and try one of the other satellites. Alright, so we got an orbital period of 5 hours, 59 seconds, or 59 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, it's not going to be exactly 6 hours, which is the daytime, is how long a day lasts in Kerbal. Kerbal is 6 hours long. The daytime is 6 hours long. We're not going to be able to get that exact, but what we want to do is we want to match that orbital period with the other satellites when we get them into position. So 5 hours, 59 minutes, and 40, we'll just say 40 seconds. We should be able to do that pretty easily. Let's go to map view. Oh, let's go ahead before and name this one so that way we know that this one's done. So rename vessel, we'll call this Kerbal ComSat. So Kerbal, oops, I did 2Ks. So Kerbal ComSat, we'll call it Kerbal ComSat 1. The next one will be number 2. So it is a relay. There we go. That one's done. That one's ready to go. It should stay right here in this position, facing the Kerbal Space Center. Now what we need to do is go to one of the other vessels, and we'll just go ahead and switch to. Okay, this is the wrong one. Alright, let's go to Matt. Try to pick one of the other ones. So these two right here. So switch to. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get this one staged. Let's get all the antennas and solar panels extended. And extend antenna. There we go. Alright, we also... oh, excuse me. We also need to go ahead and activate the engine. Alright, so as you can see, the orbit of this thing is still pretty messed up. So if we just let this go, at some point it is going to fall back in the orbit. But we're going to do this a little bit easier. So what we need to do is we need to go to the periaps. We'll go ahead and drop our apoaps to exactly where we need it. And then we'll extend when we come back. It's going to take a minute. Alright, so the apoaps this is about as close as I can get it. It's 2,862.9. I could probably get a little bit closer. This is going to take a little bit of work. Let me go to docking. Let's try this. Let's turn on RCS. And let's just use the RCS to see if we can bring that up. 2,800 in... oh, I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? Yes, I am. Hold on. That was stupid. Alright, put this back down here. There we go. Let's go here so we can... nope, we can stay with docking. I could just rotate, but I don't want to do that. That'll throw it off a little bit. Alright, let's do it. So, turn around the other way real quick, and then we'll go ahead and see if we can't get that set up the way we want it. Let's go to docking. Docking is the only way I know how to do it. So 2,800. So it's going to be this one up here. It's going to shift over here, and then it's going to go out. So we need to keep an eye on that. So apoaps is 2,000. Oh, that's way too much. What am I doing? All right, we can hit control. Oh, nope. Too much. 2,861. 2,861. 2,863.3. What's our orbital period? Yeah, that's because our periaps is too low. Perfect. So what we need to do now is we need to go ahead and drop the periaps a little bit lower. Let's go ahead and get rid of docking. And what we need to do, let's go back in the map. I'm having a bad day. We need to go ahead and go to our apoaps, do a maneuver, and we just want to go ahead and drop that periaps just a little bit. Right there, it should be fine. It doesn't take a whole lot. You want to try to do this slowly so you can try to get the perfect position. But in 2 hours, it's going to be a very, very small burn. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that one real quick. Alright, so now that we finished that maneuver, you'll notice that the orbit is a little bit lower. What we're going to do now is we're going to time warp the hell out of this. We're just going to time warp until this gets into the right area of the orbit. And then we're going to try to get it as perfect as we can and get it to the orbital period of 5 hours, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds. But yeah, this might take a little bit. So yeah, we're just going to go time warp. A lot of time warp. Oh, this is going to take a lot more. I should have gone down a little bit further. But as you can see, as we go through orbits, the satellite is starting to get ahead of the others because the orbit is shorter. And... oh, no, it's still going to take a while. So, 4 more orbits. 1. Actually, let's see where it is. So, this is ComSat 1. This is ComSat 2. We need it to be... we're a little more than halfway there. I need it to be, like, right here. Yeah, I think about there. So, yeah, we're a little bit more than half. So, let's keep going. 3 and 4. Alright, let's see where we're at. So I need it to be about right here. Let's try 2 more. So 1, 2. There we go. How are we looking now? Actually, that might be perfect right there. Now what I need to do is I need to go ahead and get the orbits set up the way they're supposed to be. This is going to take me a minute because I have to fine-tune everything. Alright, so I just finished doing the last little tweaks. The orbital period is 5 hours, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds. The RCS comes in really handy. But now, these 2 satellites should stay in the same position in the orbit from one another. And they shouldn't move. They should stay there, hopefully. Now what we need to do is we need to get the final one up to here to finish that triangle. Then once we do that, we don't have to worry about communications ever again. Hopefully. Well, at least until we go to other planets or maybe even the moons. I don't know, we'll have to see. But let me go ahead and get this last one into position. And... oh, 42. A little too much. Okay, that's the closest. Oh, there we are. 5 hours, 59 minutes, 40 seconds. I think we're good. Going to get rid of this, make sure SAS and everything are on. So yeah, let's just make sure real quick. So we got line of sight to that one. We got line of sight to that one. And let's make sure these 2 have line of sight. We are good. So yeah, not a perfect triangle. Actually, it's pretty damn close. Not half bad. But yeah, now we have communication. We don't have to worry about line of sight with the Kerbal Space Center anymore. Now, next episode, we can go ahead and try to get ourselves to the moon. We've already done the hard part. We created the staging and everything we need to get there. Now we just need to get there. This is going to be interesting. We'll see how this works out next episode. Until then, make sure to like and subscribe. All that good stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.